Hi guys, it's Donna with North Star Tarot. You know, I haven't really told you guys my story yet. You know, how I got to start reading tarot professionally, and how that all happened for me. I guess I've given you bits and pieces, but haven't really shared my story. So I think I'm going to do that now. I just felt like it. I just felt it was time, right? So I kind of call it, or I kind of feel like I came out of the tarot closet. I was definitely a closet tarot reader for many, many years. I fell in love with tarot when I was about 7. My mom took me with her when she was having a tarot reading, and I was just mesmerized by this woman's house and the smells and the candles and just everything. It just kind of mesmerized me, and I just watched. And I loved watching the way my mom responded to this woman, and what she was telling her was in the cards. So I was very, very interested, right? Now, we were raised Catholic. So we went to church every Sunday, and all this kind of stuff was taboo. And I knew it. I kind of, didn't do much with it as a real little girl, but the curiosity was there, right? So as soon as I could, I was a young teenager, maybe 13, and I bought myself a deck. Now, here's where you don't have to be gifted a deck. I would have never had a deck at that age if I hadn't bought myself one, but I did. So I got myself a deck, and it was a Rider-Waite Smith, and it was just a basic deck, right? But that's what I wanted. I wanted to learn tarot. So I played with it for a long time. And throughout the years to come, I would read for my friends and some of my family who I felt was safe. But for the most part, most people didn't know I read tarot. So I kept doing that over and over, and I had fun with it, and get together with some girls and enjoy our time together, and I'd pull out my cards and would have fun, and I studied tarot, and I just loved it. It would just became part of me, and there were times in my life where it was put on the back burner. I was a single mom with 4 kids, and that was very, very difficult, and there were times that I didn't pick up the tarot. I was just so involved in what was going on in my world and the men. And, I had a real problem with self-image. And, I was very unhealthy for a long time. But anyway, getting back to tarot, that's another story in itself, right? But I'm going to say, I wrote it down here. Let me check. So I'm going to say, so I was a teenager in 72, and, I think it was about 2009. I was living in Barrie. I had moved out of my hometown, and I was living in Barrie, Ontario, and I made a bunch of new friends, and I did that by direct sales. So I got involved in direct sales and networking, and I made a bunch of friends, and they were wonderful women, and I just loved them. And we had a really good time together, but they didn't know this about me, right? I kept it a secret. And of course, because nobody in Barrie knew that I did that, there was no one to let the cat out of the bag, right? But I always felt like I should be doing it, and that I wanted to do it, and that I wanted to share this with them, but I was afraid they would reject me. I was afraid that they wouldn't want to be around me. There was a whole lot holding me back, and even my desire to say that I was a witch. I've been a solitary witch for years and years and years, but I didn't want to talk about that either. So I had this whole facade, and this mask on that I was this woman who was a direct sales lady, and a networker, and we all had a great time, right? And we supported each other through that, and that's what we did. Well, around 2009, somewhere around there, one of my girlfriends, she sold tea. So she was having a tea party, and she had hired a reader to come and read for her guests, and her reader didn't show up. Canceled on her yet again. So, you know, I was at her house when she got the call, and she was very, very upset. You know, once again, she had to cancel. So I just blurted out and I said to her, I can read for your guests. She said to me, no, you can't. And I said, yeah, I really can. And she says, what are you talking about? And I says, well, I read tarot cards. She said, Donna, you've got to be kidding me. And I said, no. So I went in my car and I got my tarot deck and I came back in her house. And I said, I'll give you a reading. And so I proceeded to give her a reading. Well, she was very, very surprised, extremely surprised. And that's how it kind of started here in Barrie. So after that first party, a few of my friends were there, and I had another friend that invited me to her house. And I went over there, and it was just supposed to be a girls' night, and it ended up being, you know, I read for everybody that night. I read, I don't know how many people, 20, 30 people that night. It was wonderful. So here we go. Then they're all telling me I should do it. You know, I should take my gift and use it and take my abilities and run with them, right? So I did. So I made a name for myself and started doing events and traveling around Ontario, and I got on a circuit of reading, and I have clients all over Ontario, and now I have clients all over the world. So yeah, it's just amazing how that happens, right? But I feel good. I feel good about what I do for a living, and I feel good about being able to help people. You know, some people are so stuck and they're hurting, and they really just need, they just need some clarity. They need to believe in themselves. They need some direction, and that's what I believe tarot does the best. So I just love it. So anyway, that's a little bit of my story. I did study tarot a lot on my own. So I am studied. I know I call it intuitive tarot reading because I use my intuition an awful lot. But I did study tarot from the time I was a teenager. So the last 50 years I've studied tarot. And lots of books and I studied with Laurie Cabot, the Salem Witch. She offered a course a few years ago, and a girlfriend and myself took it. And it was so much fun, and it was an honor to be taught by someone that age and with that esteem. So yeah, it was just fabulous. So yeah, I am an intuitive tarot reader, but I'm also schooled. So I do have the knowledge. And I think everybody needs that base. So to be an intuitive reader, I think to me, it just means you use your intuition with your reading a lot. And that's how I am, But definitely, I don't think that you will be the same type of reader if you don't study. Okay, so I really do believe you have better quality readings when you study. Okay, so yeah, so that's just my opinion. All this is just my opinion about tarot, and and it's an individual thing, and we all decide how to run our own business and do our own thing. But I love it, and I hope my clients get as much out of my readings as they give to me. And that's all really that's important. So anyway, thank you for joining me and listening to my story of me coming out of the tarot closet. And I hope you got a little giggle out of it too. So anyway, we'll see you on my channel, North Star Tarot. And go to my website. I have Facebook and YouTube. So we'll see you soon, okay? Thank you again. Bye for now.